So I just got off of a bus in Heredia. The bus left before I could show it, but it was a bus. And it's been a while since we've been to Heredia, 8 months. Let's see what we're going to see today. Traffic from San Jose to Heredia continues to be not very good. But we are actually leaving the more crowded area is the idea. And we've been here before, I've been here before, but we're going in this direction. So we have this sign, Barva 3 kilometros that way, San Rafael 3 kilometers that way. And this is the end of the square block of central Heredia. And so I'm taking a country road, so to speak, up to San Rafael. 3 kilometers, so that's really only, I don't know, 30 minutes walk. And we'll see what we can see. Well, this map says, or this sign says 2 kilometers. So that's even shorter. Won't take me long to get there. Another thing about this walk is that this is new to me, so I don't know what I'm going to see, but since you know, I went to San Pablo and Heredia, one of my last trips I took before I left last time, I think I can kind of assume what I'm going to see. And in general, Heredia is an affluent place, and I'm going up a hill, which usually means things can get ritzy. You can see we have some big old modern apartment building up there, so I guess I will find out if those guesses are true. So I kind of forgot about this part. San Jose and Heredia, Cartago are all built on the side of a volcano. So that's 3 or even 2 kilometers are a bit more than I thought they would be at first. I also forgot sidewalks are in the habit of disappearing. So I'm going to cross the street is the idea. I actually went backward because I could actually cross an intersection. Felt safer. And there's those apartments, presumably apartments or condominiums. I don't know, it could be a hospital or something. Actually, look at those windows. Those are more like office windows. So I'm not sure. And incidentally, since this says Municipalidad de San Rafael de Heredia, that means we're in a canton, not just a district. Respect the cyclist. Yes, please do. There is a lot of bicycling infrastructure and kind of a consciousness of bicycling, but can't always see that mirrored in how easy it is to cycle. And there you can get a view down to the valley. Looks like we're somewhere in like the grid part of the city, but I think we still have a couple of blocks until the center of town. And also the hill is not as steep, which is nice. Now I'm crossing the street again. Kind of forgot about this part, but it's just part of living here. And actually I could have walked on that side of the street without a sidewalk without too much problem. One thing is there does seem to be a lot of bus service here, so when it's time to go back I can just get a bicycle back to Heredia. I don't know if there's any buses that go directly from here to San Jose. One of the things I'll find out, but I can obviously walk back to Heredia without any problem anyway. Well, there's some chickens. And like a lot of places around here, this was probably a rural area up until, I don't know, 30 to 50 years ago. Or this was a town, you know, farming market town just connected to Heredia. So there's still chickens here, I guess. And this is apparently the district San Josecito, and you can scan a QR code and have like a virtual tour or something, I guess. The future is now. There's a park in that direction. I might go over there in a little while. I still want to find the center of San Rafael, then I might head in that direction. Okay, so this direction is that direction. Turn at right angles, and then this forms the square of the center of San Rafael. In that direction, we can see the pinnacle of a church, so I'm gonna head that direction. Well, there I am in the center of town. I'm gonna go sit down for a while. The interesting thing about Costa Rica is Costa Rica abolished the military in 1948. But if you look at this sign, it's a memorial to the people who defended against the invasion of people from the American South in 1856, 1857, with the encouragement of Franklin Pierce, or that Buchanan, one of those terrible people. So it's a Pacific country, but they have a long memory and they have a lot of pride in their history, which they should, and in their ability to defend themselves when they need to. So we have a normal playground. We also have a little carousel. Unlike the carousel in Albany, I visited 18 months ago, I think that one might be only for kids. I don't know if they'd let me on it. This makes me miss my friend Blaine, who was in a wheelchair and was a very great chess player. I wonder if there's actually people playing chess around here. It doesn't look like there is. So we have a bee habitat. It says their common names are mariolas or angelitas, little angels, and they do look a little bit different than most bees I'm used to, but pretty much all bees are good bees. So I've walked around the church to the other end, and I'm just going to walk around town, see what there is to see. A lot of beautiful architecture, then a lot of other things. Now I've left the center of town. I'm just walking around a residential neighborhood. Like I said, I didn't know what I was going to see when I came here, so I'm just kind of walking around seeing whatever. One thing I have to adjust to is, of course, as opposed to Montana in late October, it is hot and humid here, so I got pretty sweaty climbing that hill, and I have to remember to take it a little bit easy. So apparently this is the road out of town. You can see it heads up into the mountains, and I'm just going to follow this until we reach that out of town point, because I'm not going to walk out of town, then I'll just circle around. I'm just kind of having a peaceful time. You can tell this looks pretty peaceful. Just came across this little pocket park, middle of houses with some playground equipment. But just because it's a small park doesn't mean we don't have to have a lot of rules. Some of it makes sense, but they really point out, no llevar ropa con cordones o cordeles, colores u otros tipos de filamentos que pueden quedarse enganchados en las instalaciones del parque y asfixiar accidentalmente a un menor. Don't enter with children with cords or other types of filaments that could become entangled in the equipment of the park and accidentally asphyxiate a child. Oh, okay, that's good advice. Okay, I'm turning around here. Looks like it's also starting to rain a little. So I was walking back to town, took a little detour because I saw some green space, and now I'm back up the road out of town, and you'll probably hear this in a second. It's also started to be thunder and lightning. When I left Costa Rica last time, it had been the dry season for a long time. This time I came later in October, so at the end of the thunderstorm, the rainy season, but not totally the end. Luckily, I did bring an umbrella. Okay, I talked about this before. Here's an accessible, square, level sidewalk with the yellow stripe. Lasts about 20 feet, and you're onto that. Okay, but apparently they are on the problem. But like I said earlier, Heredia is affluent, and this is even further in the hills, so it is affluent, although that doesn't always look like it would in the United States. And it's also just kind of a peaceful place. I can tell it's kind of a slower pace than like the University District where I live in Montes de Oca. So I've walked back to the center of town, and there's the parish, and as is, not all is, but almost all is the case, the city hall is directly next to the park and the parish. Also, it started to rain, so I have a little bit of a problem, which is that my train doesn't leave Heredia until 4 o'clock. 2 o'clock now. I could just take a bus back, but of course the train is more fun and quicker. And if it starts to downpour, then I'll get on a bus. But until then, I'm going to see if I can get something to eat and wait a little bit longer here. Well, I'm back to this point. I never did find out about the Heredero Turistico Monte de la Cruz, maybe in the future. And I kind of just started walking. I was actually looking for a restaurant and decided not to go there. But now I think I'm just going to walk back to Heredia. There's no reason not to. I think I've seen, there's a lot more to see in the town, but I think I've seen enough for today. So I'm going to just kind of stroll back this way, maybe see some other stuff on the way back. In distance, you can see that apartment building or whatever it was gives you an idea of how far it is. Not too far. It's 2 or 3 kilometers, so 1.5 miles, 2 miles. And incidentally, just because I always fascinated, there is an airplane going into the Heredia airport. Rain continues to be a light drizzle, so it hasn't become a downpour, and I'm quite comfortable. I might be a little bit uncomfortable when I have to cross the road a couple more times in the rain. Also, I need to wipe off my lens. Sometimes when I walk somewhere, the walk back can be quite long, longer than the original walk there. This time I just kind of headed down the hill and it just automatically happened. Probably because I was going downhill. That would make a lot of sense. Oh, and there's the crosswalk. I'm going to cross here again. So I'm back in Heredia. Just came back from that road. That road is the way to Barva, and today it was kind of actually a coin flip whether I'd go to San Rafael or Barva. I decided San Rafael made a little bit more sense, but hopefully I'll be going to Barva sometime soon. And then there's some other cantones and distritos north of there that, you know, who knows. This time I started a lot more familiar, so I'm already going a lot further. And also I know, like, this video didn't really have a central thesis or a dramatic moment. I went for a walk. I found the park and the church, walked around, saw some stuff, and walked back. And part of that is the San Rafael, even though it does feel a little bit different, a little bit more local, slower paced, is still kind of connected. So there was no clear dividing line. I just went for a walk, saw some stuff, and hopefully that stuff gave us another piece of the puzzle. And I think this is that's my conclusion. I've also only been here, this is my 5th full day here. So, I just seeing some basic stuff for now. There will be more.